What's up, everybody? It is Soul here. Not using the camera just because the house is a mess. Anyways, today got some news of some Double Masters spoilers. Aside from the 4 that were already on the website for the VIP packs or whatever, have not seen any of these spoilers. So I'm just as excited as everybody else. And I'm going to turn my microphone volume down just a smidge there. I hope you guys enjoy the smooth jazz in the background. Now, let's get to typing. Taka. There it is. And we'll pick this one. Now let's see if they've updated it here yet. They have. Oh, we've got all sorts of stuff to go over, boys. Alright. So, the Double Masters product, it's got a lot of mixed reviews, mixed feelings about how it is. Basically, you've got some people that are like, oh yeah, that's going to be great for the cards, but you've got other people who are like, no, that's terrible. It is also quite expensive for the VIP kit, which it's fine for them to have whale products. In fact, I'm going to purchase one myself. But honestly, it's like, I hope that they don't do this a lot. You know what I mean? Doing it once is fine. But doing it more than once is probably, you hate to see it at that point. It's too expensive and you just price so many people out of other formats. And, yeah, but we'll get into my opinion on that after we get to the spoilers, because I don't want to ruin anybody's excitement. So, I'm here with my co-host of my TED Talk today. Go ahead, say hello.
Hello.
All right. So, you gotta talk into the microphone like this. I'm kidding. It's not ASMR. Don't do that. All right. So, we've got Lux Cannon. I've never seen this one before. Right. Tap, put a charge counter on Lux Cannon. Tap, remove 3 charge counters from Lux Cannon. Destroy target permanent. Okay, I mean, it's an interesting removal spell. It takes a minute to get going, and it does cost 4 mana. But it does start... The turn that it comes in, it does start putting counters on it. And I could see it in a nice, like, proliferate deck. You add some counters to it. Say you can proliferate 3 times a turn or something. This gets churning, like in Commander there's like a Traxa, and there's other decks that kind of want to do that, put counters on things. So I can see this slotting into one of those decks, although I feel like there's better cards in those decks. So it looks like Card Kingdom's already got it priced out at $7. That's what I will assume that it is priced out at. Now we've got to go into the back. All right. Engineered Explosive. Now this is a modern card. Sunburst, it enters the battlefield with a charge counter on it for each color of mana spent to cast it. Sunburst, older mechanic, pretty cool though. If you're playing 5-color jank, this is pretty fun. If you're playing 2 colors, it's normally a decent removal spell. So, 2, sacrifice it, destroy each non-land permanent with converted mana cost equal to the number of charge counters in the Engineered Explosive. So I'm starting to sense a charge counter theme. What about you? What do you think of these cards? You're relatively newer to Magic, so you haven't seen these mechanics before. I know about some of these cards. Like, this is a reprint. So what do you think about it?
It looks interesting, I guess.
Well, what do you want to, like, if you saw this card in one of the packs of the Masters box we're getting, where do you think you would put it? Like, how would you use this card? Play announcer with me.
I can't.
Why not?
I don't know.
You can't figure out where to put it? Sorry, I think my microphone might have bugged there for a minute. Well, okay. Well, at least, how about this? I will describe the card and tell you where it slots in and stuff. You give me a scale from 1 to 10 where you think it is. Like, playability for you. So what do you think about this one?
Probably like
2? Well, considering that's how much it costs to sacrifice it, I'm not surprised. Alright. Wormcoil Engine. Commander staple. Alright. So, 6 mana, Death Touch, Lifelink. When it dies, create a 3/3 worm artifact creature token with Death Touch and a 3/3 colorless worm artifact creature token with Lifelink. So basically, this is one of those artifact payoffs, and you can get it out really early for if you're playing Ramp. It fits in pretty much any deck. Death Touch and Lifelink for a 6/6 is really nice, and if it sees the graveyard, it splits into 2 more. So putting it in a sacrifice artifacts type of deck, where you sack the Wormcoil Engine, get those 2 tokens, and then you bring your Wormcoil Engine back from the graveyard to the battlefield, and now you've got another one. You know, you basically got 12 power and toughness, 9 lifelink, 9 death touch. It's a pretty solid card. I'm not surprised that they printed it as a mythic, and of course, it is a worm. And worms are fun. It's a weird tribe, but there's barely enough support. There's no worm lords or anything, but you've got enough cards that do worm stuff.
Worm Lord.
Yes, the Worm Lord, it gives worms +9/+9 and indestructible trample, flying double strike, and lifelink. I'm kidding, there's no Worm Lord, but
There should be.
there should be, for sure. So this is a decent card for me. I've played with Wormcoil Engine a couple of times, and once again, you know, your artifact deck. This is one of the payoffs in my Hand of Ship Navigator commander deck, where I sacrifice the Wormcoil Engine, pay a white and a blue, get it back to my hand, and cast it again. So it gets pretty good once you get a nice value engine going. Scale of 1 to 10, what's your rating on this one?
6.
Say a solid 6, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, it costs 6 CMC. Anyways, I would probably rate it a little bit higher than that, because if you're playing like an artifact themed deck, you know, it's a really nice solid payoff for what you're trying to do. So I'd probably give it a 7. We've got Nasty Terastodon. 6 double green. When it enters the battlefield, you may destroy up to 3 target non-creature permanents. For each permanent put into a graveyard this way, its controller creates a 3/3 green elephant creature token. So basically, you can use this in a couple of value loops to basically hit all of your opponent's lands, turn them into 3/3s, and then board wipe. Which is just the nastiness of Terastes right there. That's kind of what people use it for, is land destruction. You can also hit artifacts, enchantments, whatever. It just doesn't hit creatures. It does give your opponent some bodies. I've seen black-green Reanimator style type decks, because it's an ETB and not a cast, where they hit the Terastodon, sacrifice it, bring it back, destroy more land, sacrifice it, bring it back, and basically they just lock everybody in the commander table out of the game. And also, for you viewers out there, keep in mind this is more of a commander type of video here. Just that's the format that we tend to play. These aren't going to be legal and standard anyways. You don't see Nasty Terasti in Modern that much, like, if at all. So we, of course, will be talking about this in Commander Eternal format. So with this, like I said, value loops, and you basically just lock your opponents out of the game, and then, you know, you've got the Terastodon in the graveyard, you board wipe, and then now nobody has anything, but you still have lands, and then you are, if not winning already and everybody scoops, you are so far ahead of your opponents, it's not even funny. So it's a pretty good card. It's also a 9/9 for 8, so it's a little bit above the curve, but you want your 8, 7, and 9 and big mana spells to do big mana things. So I think this accomplishes that. My rating on it would probably be, in the right deck, it's a solid 9, but if you're just evaluating it based off of just the card, I'd say it's probably a solid 7. What do you think?
I was gonna say 7.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Alright, next card. That's a good one. Okay. Exploration. 1 green. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. Really, really good in a ramp deck, obviously. So you got your 1 mana green on the battlefield, tap to play this, and then you play another land, and then you play your Llanowar Elves. And the next turn, you draw a card, play 2 more lands. You're 4 mana or 5 mana with the Llanowar Elves on turn 2. At that point, you can start casting things. You could reasonably cast a Terastodon on turn 3 with an Exploration on turn 1. So really good card in the right deck once again. I mean, of course, you know, you're playing, this is a splashable card. In Commander, if you're playing green, you want at least a couple cards like this. If you're playing ramp, mono green probably takes advantage of it the best, but I'll tell you what, man, you put that in like a Bant control deck, and you've got more lands than your opponent.
Put it with a Sousa, you play like 3 or 4 lands per turn.
This with Azusa, with Dryad of the Elysian Grove, and then Nissa.
Yeah.
How much mana do you have? As much as I want. This is essentially...
all of it, my entire deck's worth.
Yeah. So, you know, and if you get a good draw engine going with like cards like that, this is like a really, really toned back version of a card called Fast Bond that lets you play any number of lands on your turn, which makes fetch lands go infinite. Of course, they still do you the damage, but in Commander, you're at 40, and you're getting all these lands onto the battlefield. You get a fetch land, Crucible of Worlds, and Fast Bond, and you just start getting all the lands out of your deck. And then you normally have a finisher by then. So, I'd say this card in the right build, once again, solid 9. There's plenty of places for this to slot into. But as a card of itself, I'd probably give it a 6. I mean, say you open this in a draft. You're like, okay, cool, but I wouldn't first pick this card. Because, 1, that means you're probably going to have to go into green. 2, that means you're going to want to play lands, matters, cards. If there's not a theme in that sealed situation, you don't want that. So, I guess we'll look into it as Commander, and then Draft, and then by the card itself. So in Draft, I don't think I would first pick this. Second pack, if I open this first, and this was like my first card in that second pack we open, and I'm already in green, I'd probably think about it, but I'm not gonna I'm not gonna knock over my water glass or anything when I see Exploration. That is a $30 card, apparently, as Card Kingdom says here, so yeah, I can see why. It can lead to some busted stuff, but it's a continuous busted, not an immediately win the game type of effect. So for me, the card by itself is probably a 6. In Draft, it'd probably be a 5, and in certain Commander decks, I'd probably give it an 8. What about you?
That's about what I would put it.
Come on, be more specific. The viewers want to know your opinion too.
I mean, if I had it personally, it would go in my Commander deck. Definitely.
Right. Keep in mind, she's playing Abzan +1/+1 counters deck with Nissa to double mana, Dryad of Elysing Grove, Azusa. Those are already in there. So this kind of turbos out those cards. We've got a couple fetch lands. We just need to get a Crucible to get a loop going. Like, yeah, I could see that in your Commander deck for sure. All right, let's see. We want to go ahead and go back here. So Sharuum the Hegemon. An interesting card for sure. It's a reprint, not very, not very expensive, money-wise. But, so basically, 3 an Esper, 3 a white and a blue and a black. Flying 5/5, legendary artifact creature Sphinx. When it enters the battlefield, you may return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So, say it was in a constructed environment, you could get infinite enter the battlefield effects with Sharuum the Hegemon. If you have one in the graveyard and then you play this one, it enters the battlefield, brings back the original legend rules applies, and you sacrifice the one that you just cast, and it'll loop. So you'll get infinite enter the battlefield effects. So if you have Panharmonicon and stuff like that, because you could put this in Modern technically, you could do some jank artifact stuff, which artifacts are pretty busted if you have a sack outlet and all that stuff. But as far as the card by itself, I mean, it's not that good, and especially you can kind of tell by the price. Not many people are playing it. It's a slot card in a slot deck. Its mana cost is really restrictive. You've got, this is one of the few commanders that you can use for Esper. That's about the one plus it's got going for it. There's not that many Esper colored legendary cards. There's a few, but not that many. You can use it to do some things. It can be a combo piece or a combo finisher, but it's not very likely. It's not that big, game finishing card that you want for your 6 mana. Like I said, it's a little bit hard to cast. I give it a solid 5. If I found this in a draft, I would probably first pick it just because it's a 5/5 flyer. But it slots you into those 3 colors. So even in draft, I'd have to think about it really hard, know the draft format, whatever, and see, build a little sick artifact deck or something, maybe. But if, I open this second pick and I'm not in those colors, it's not even going to pass my mind. So I give it a probably solid 6 in draft. And for Commander, it's like a 4, What do you think?
Yeah, I'd say a 4. It seems too high of mana for what it does.
Yeah, well, its ability is pretty good, but because it does go straight to the battlefield.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's white, blue, and black, and 3 to cast.
It's just too restrictive.
Yeah, I agree. All right, we're on to tier 3 here. Interesting. Okay, Sculpting Steel. It can enter the battlefield as a copy of any artifact on the battlefield. It's mirror made, but it's easier to cast. So this can lead to some really busted stuff. You copy a Strionic Resonator, boom. Now you you can copy the Strionic Resonator's trigger, and you can make infinite triggers for one spell, whatever. There's a lot of really broken things you can do in Commander with copy effects. So I just off the rip automatically for Commander, this card is a solid 8 if you're in, or a 7 if you're in the combo deck, a 9 or a 10 if you're in an artifacts deck. It doesn't seem that game finishing, but you copy the right artifact, and mind you, this can hit yours, your opponent's, whatever. It's 3 mana, whatever you need it to be, because every Commander deck runs artifacts.
Copy the Panharmonicon.
It's pretty busted. Not to mention, this triggers twice. So if you have Panharmonicon on the battlefield, it does trigger artifact into the battlefield, okay? So this enters the battlefield, triggers twice. You can turn it into a copy of a mana-producing artifact and tap it, produce the mana, and then turn it into something else, use the mana that you got just a second ago, and possibly combo off, immediately. It's pretty busted in the right deck, hence the $7 price card. In draft, that's where it's kind of like, you have to have another artifact to support.
Right.
So I'd probably give it a solid 6 in draft, and that's kind of where I sit at with it. What do you think?
Yeah, probably about 5 draft, maybe 6 or 7, depending on your deck.
Yeah, that's a pretty good evaluation there. Oh, I didn't see the Jace the Mind Sculptor. I didn't see it. Okay. Sunforger, best Boros artifact in a Boros deck, especially like Firesong and Sunspeaker, which gives your instance lifelink. No, it gives red spells lifelink and white spells something. I can't remember. But this can go search your library for a red or white instant card with converted mana cost 4 or less and cast that card without paying its mana cost. Then you shuffle your library. So it's a red and a white, unattach it from a creature, so you do have to equip it. So it's 3 to equip. But you can do this at instant speed, this part. So, 1 red, 1 white, find Teferi's Protection. Phase out of the game for a turn. 1 red, 1 white, unattached Sunforger, find, repeated reverberations to copy your next instant or sorcery. And not to mention, +4/+0 is not chump change for 3. So, in a Boros spells kind of deck, I would give this a solid 8. In constructed, well, okay, look, in draft, I would first pick this card because it is easy to build around. Red and white have the cheapest spells usually. So you can get your shocks and your Path to Exiles and stuff like that. Also, go and get Swords to Plowshares, get rid of an immediate threat at instant speed. And it casts it for free. So it's basically 2 mana unequipped and cast something that costs 4 or less. That's pretty good. Only $4, which is not a bad price for it. I think we saw one at the store that was pretty cheap. So if you're building that type of deck, this is a must-have, necessary include in that deck. Otherwise, in a draft, I try to draft around this card. This is one of those that I would be like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. You get some nice, cheap, efficient creatures, drop this on 3, equip it, swing, and then you can tutor out your pump spells. So in draft, I give it a solid 7. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. What do you think? So I can think of a few off the top of my head, really game-busted spells that this can tutor for. Not to mention, you put in a Jeskai deck to tutor up from those 4 mana or less blue spells. You can cast that are instants. You can do some really fun things. So what do you think as far as ratings go?
Yeah, I think it would be good in a lot of different decks. So I'd probably go to 7.
All right. Yeah. I can agree with that. You want to read this next one? You have to. It's just a sword. It's easy. Go ahead. Here, read off of this one. This screen's bigger.
It's a equipped creature, gets +2/+2, and has protection from red and from white. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, it deals damage to that player equal to the number of cards in hand, and you gain 1 life for each card in your hand.
Yep. So basically, Sword of War and Peace, 3 mana, equipped for 2. It gets +2/+2 and has pro red, pro white, which can be fun. I mean, swords are good. They're not, well, there's 2 swords that are pretty good, like busted. But this one's not one of them. However, it deals damage to each player, or to that player equal to the number of cards in their hand. So if you were playing this against a control player, I kind of wish that it was protection from, like, blue and from, like, black, because that would basically give this would be the anti-control sword, because they have a bunch of cards in their hand and they can't target it with their removal spells except for white. You know, but in this case, they can't target it with white removal spells, but they can still bounce it, which in the blue player just bounce your creature, you're sad. It doesn't deal damage, and they don't get to take damage. But you can also play this in a control deck because it gains life equal to the cards in your hand. You put this in a life gain deck, you put this in a Reliquary Tower of drawing a bunch of cards deck, and you swing and you gain a bunch of life. So this is a reprint. I've seen it. It's an okay card. Stoneforge Mystic normally tutors to get Sword of War and Peace, sort of Feast and Famine. So this is one of those prime tutor targets for that. I'd say it's a solid 6, 7 in an artifact deck. And if I was playing in a draft and I opened this, I would first pick it, just because you're likely to see. That is 2/5 of the color pie there, so you're likely to see it be relevant in at least 1 or 2 of your games. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd give it like a 6, maybe 7.
Seems like a fair assessment. Alright. This is the alternate art edition.
That's cool.
It is cool. You cannot buy this one separately right now, it seems. Because the other ones that were reprints, you could buy the reprints from Card Kingdom. This one, however, is not. This is not a reprinted art. I think it's pretty cool that the sword is stabbed through the pillar. There's fire all over the place with the full art. That's pretty nice. The full art artifacts, I haven't seen any that really look cool. Like, I like the Solemn Simulacrum stuff, but just the kind of gray text through the thing. I mean, it looks okay in this one, but it just doesn't look that cool. What is this? Magus of the Abyss. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, destroy target non-artifact creature that player controls of their choice. It can't be regenerated. And it's a 3 and a black for a 4/3 human sorcerer. Okay, that's pretty cool. I can see this being an interesting removal spell, but it does hit only non-artifacts. If you're playing against an artifact player, it's not that good. In draft, definitely first pickable, because it's a removal spell. And remember, bread, bombs, removal, evasion. I forget what A and D stand for. But yeah, so this is kind of like first pickable in draft. They give it a solid 8 there. In Commander, I mean, I would see somebody playing this, but I don't think it would be like, you know, you're not going to cast Demonic Tutor to go find this card. Like, I give it a solid 6, like a removal heavy deck. So say you've got enough removal to deal with everything but one thing for each opponent. You hit all of that stuff, and then this picks off the rest. The fact that it doesn't hit artifact creatures means that you could, because you do have to hit yours as well. It says target non-artifact creature that player controls. So on your upkeep, you have to do it to yours. So you could put this in an artifact creature deck, but then you could have to destroy this unless you can turn it into an artifact creature. So it's a little bit. I could see it fitting in an aristocrats deck as well, but of course it gets stopped by Hexproof as a target. So yeah, solid 6 for me. 4/3 for 4, decent body. What do you think?
I'd give it like a 5.
Yeah. Alright, that's one of those like limited but not very good. Now this is a reprint. $69.99, obviously. So 2 and 2 blue. Legendary Planeswalker Jace. When I tell you the foil of this was worth $300 when Ultimate Masters came out, I'm not even kidding. I opened one and I traded it in and I got like $170 in cash. So +2, look at the top card of target player's library, yours or your opponent's. You may put that card on the bottom of that player's library. So it's scry for you or it's mess with your opponent. This is a staple in Lantern Control in Modern when Lantern Control was still a thing. Gitaxian Probe and a couple other things have been banned, so that deck is not around as much. I've seen a few modified versions of it, not super relevant. 0, you can brainstorm. Draw 3 cards, put 2 from your hand on top of your library in any order. -1, unsummon, bounce something, bounce a creature. And then -12, exile all cards from target player's library, then that player shuffles their hand into their library. So, you put this in a discard deck, and your opponent has no cards in hand, and you ultimate Jace, and then you pass the turn. They just lose. They've been milled out. So, solid card. And this is first pickable in any draft. You see this immediately. You're taking it with you. In Commander, it's cool, but because it doesn't do that much to everybody, but it does do a lot of things. It's very versatile. I would give it a solid 8 in a Commander deck and a blue deck. You know, it's a good card. People are gonna be like, wow, you have one of those. You know, it's one of those cards, and it's pretty expensive. So people are like, that's pretty cool. You can use it pretty effectively. It's gonna immediately get targeted just because people heard about how good it was in Modern, so they're just gonna immediately take it out. So I could give it a solid 8 because Planeswalkers are just really good in general. But yeah, this is a pretty good reprint. Hopefully we get one of those in the box that we're ordering. Also, for those of you guys who watch my Magic content and enjoy playing Commander and stuff, I will be selling the majority of the cards on the secondary market. So if you guys want to get a cheaper price or something, message me in the comments. We can work something out. I'm also going to keep at least 3, maybe 6 of the packs sealed and sell those separately. So yeah, if you guys want some good deals or something, let me know. I normally don't mind to pay for shipping and handling of things. Of course, that might come into the price. I might have to raise it up like $5 or something, so I'm not taking a huge loss out of pocket. But say I open one of these, I'm not going to sell it for $70. I'm going to sell it for $50 because I don't really need one. And, you know, shipping and handling is going to be like probably $5, $10. So $60 for this, and I'm undercutting all the competition. So yeah, you guys let me know when I do get the box. I will be opening it on video, so everybody will get to see what we got. And what's Thought Reflection. Love that card. I hope that's not one of the spoilers.
I like the arts on those ones.
These 3? These are the Tron lands. These are played in Modern. As you can see, tap to add 1 colorless if you control Urza's Power Plant and an Urza's Tower. Tap, it adds 2 instead. This one does the same thing if you control these 2. This one taps 3 if you contain these. So turn 3, you get all 3 of these. You can tap for 7 mana, cast Karn Liberated in Modern. This is Eldrazi Tron. These are the cards. These are the lands that they're looking for in their decks.
Colors.
Oh yeah, the fact that they made it all, that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Speaking of Karn Liberated, we've got the alternate art Karn Liberated here.
He looks ready to party.
Target player exiles a card from their hand for a +4. +4. This is one of the first Planeswalkers ever printed. They did not know how loyalty things worked. Just +4. Yeah, that's nothing. Let's put Karn to 10.
Man, 2 turns he gets his ultimate? That's insane.
No, his ultimate is insane. We'll get to it in a second. -3, exile target permanent. You hit your opponent's lands, you hit your opponent's whatever, best card. -14, restart the game, leaving in exile all non-aura permanent cards exiled with Karn Liberated, then put those cards onto the battlefield under your control. So you basically steal stuff from your opponent, but they choose, okay, what they want to exile. You get that stuff in, if you have blockers, 2 turns. Or you can just keep picking apart their hand and then restart the game whenever you want to. Everybody's life total goes back, lands, everything shuffled, and you get all the cards that you got. All non-aura permanent cards, lands, whatever they gave you.
That's busted.
Karn Liberated is busted, and you can do that on turn 3. You can start picking apart stuff in Modern with the Power Plant, Tower, and Mine. And, of course, we have the non-foil version. Same original art. $40. Yeah, $40. Sounds about right. It's Karn. He's ready to rumble. Old school Karn. Okay, what's this? Glimmer Void. $4 card. Land at the beginning of the end step. So I guess this triggers on your opponent's turn as well. If you control no artifacts, sacrifice Glimmer Void. By the way, Karn's rating 9/9. If you open it in the draft, you're taking it. It's a good card in any deck because it's colorless. People see Karn hit the battlefield and they just sigh because they know you're gonna restart the game. And Commander games already take long enough.
If you're playing.
I was the guy who would turbo out their Karn, deep glow skate, doubling the counters on it after I uptick, and then restart the game the next turn, and continue doing that because there are ways to get cards out of exile. So it was yeah. Oh, I look back on the Staxius days, man. It was fun. Anyways. It's a mana fixture. Tap, add 1 mana of any color, but it sacrifices itself if you control no artifacts. However, they do have artifact lands like Seat of the Synod, Great Furnace, things like that. So you play artifact lands with this land, and it's not a big deal. I wouldn't first pick this in a draft, but if I'm playing artifacts and it comes around, I'm taking it. So, and I think most people would share that sentiment with me. So I probably would get that back. It would probably wheel if I were playing artifacts and cutting it hard. Solid artifact deck, 6 out of 10. Non-artifact deck, virtually unplayable.
Yeah.
So I'd probably give it a solid 1 or 2 in Commander, but a 6 in Draft. And this in an Eternal format, it is played in artifact decks, so I could see giving this a 4 or 5 there too. Okay, up next, we've got Blink Moth Nexus. $3 card, tap, add a colorless. You can pay 1, and it becomes a 1/1. Blink Moth artifact creature with flying until end of turn to steal a land, and then you can pay 1 and tap. Target Blink Moth creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So you get a full play set of these. You can make them pretty big. First pickable, maybe. But I don't think I would like I said, tip over my glass and be like, yes, I opened a... No, it's a land, it's a creature land. It's one of the best creature lands. It does have evasion on it. But, by its...
Lands are always risky because you could lose your land.
Right, it only taps for colorless, and if you don't have... you can... It's tricky. If you don't have more than one, it actually gets worse. If you have a few, you can... pay 1 and tap to all the other ones that you have, and then your attacking one's a 4/4. That's pretty nice. So in draft, I'd probably give it a 6. In Commander, it's a 3. Oh, what do you think?
Probably overall a 5.
Overall? Yeah. Okay. Up next, Conjurer's Closet.
That's pretty colored.
So I'll let you guys know we got a lot of spoilers to get through. So if I start getting a little bit faster, that is what it is. Is this an alternate art or something? They don't have Conjurer's Closet on Card Kingdom? Maybe it's a different art. I think that's what it is. So 5 mana at the beginning of your end step, you can flicker something. Which basically bounces it, puts it right back. Good in a Panarmonicon deck, good in a Soul Herder deck. When you're trying to flicker things, get into the battlefield effects, it's pretty good. It's a solid card, but it's only creatures you control, so you got value creatures that you can bounce to do stuff with. In Commander, I'd probably give it a 7 in the right deck. First pickable, probably not. I don't think I would take this in a draft. It's a little bit too expensive. So I'd probably put it at 3 or 4 in draft. But if you get the right payoffs, it could be a good top end. What do you think?
Well, probably a 5.
Huh. Cost 5. Wizard's Nose. Alright, this is a good one.
I like that art.
What, Baleful Strix? Oh yeah, it's a good one. So... A blue, a black, artifact creature, bird, flying, death touch. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. It's 1/1.
Yeah.
First pickable? Sure. I mean, if you want to go into blue-black and there's enough support in it, sure, yeah. You go with this. It draws you a card, so it replaces itself. It's flying and death touch, so it blocks really well, and it attacks not as well as it blocks, but it still gets in there.
Flying and death touch aren't too common. There's not too many cards with those two.
With both of them? I mean, yeah. It's a $4 card. It's first pickable. I'd say it's probably a 7 in draft, and in the right circumstances, I could see this being a pretty decent card in Commander. So I give it a 5. What do you think?
6.
All right. Moving on. Expedition map. This goes and finds your Tron lands. This finds the temples and stuff. 2 tap sacrifice expedition map. Search your library for a land card, not basic, just any land card. Reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle your library. So you pay 2, you pay 1. The next turn you play a land, pay 2, tap, sacrifice it. You go get whatever Tron land you're missing. Now you have the mana that you need for turn 4, and you play your card liberated. Expedition map. That's all there is to it. It's a $1 card. It's a common, but it was banned from Pauper, so that doesn't really matter. First pickable in draft? No. This is a common. This is something that just passes around the table. If you get a really cool land, sure, I could see taking it then. But probably not going to be taking it over like a bomb rare or something like that. No. But yeah, that's kind of my take on it. I would give it probably, in a Tron deck, it's a 10 because they need it. In a regular deck, probably a 5. It's Traveler's Amulet, but it goes against any type of land. So yeah, that's probably where I'd rate it at. What about you?
6.
Alright. So up next we have Breya, Ethereum Shaper. She is a reprint, and a different art, I guess. White, blue, black, red. When Breya, Ethereum Shaper enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 blue Thopter artifact creature tokens with flying. 2, sacrifice 2 artifacts, choose 1. Breya deals 3 damage to target player. Target creature gets -4/-4 on turn. You gain 5 life. So basically, pay 2, sack 2 artifacts, lightning bolt somebody, languish, or no, grasp of darkness or creature, or Kenrith's White activation. And she can be flickered to do that. It's 4/4 for 4, technically, but it's pretty hard to cast. Normally this is the commander you see in these colors, and it's an Artifacts Matters deck. Pretty much all there is to it. In the right commander deck, it's solid 9. This is a card you build around. In draft, no, don't. It's 4. It's 2 mana restricted for draft.
4 colors is a lot.
Yeah, so I'd say in draft probably 3. In commander, like I said, it's a 9. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd put it like a 6 overall.
Yep. Alrighty. Dark Confidant. There he is. Alright, 2 mana. They have the wrong art, or the wrong set symbol on here. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library and put that card in your hand. You lose life equal to its CMC. It's card advantage. It's risky card advantage if you're playing big mana spells, but in like a mono black or black white aggro deck, this is pretty good. It's also 2/1 for 2. It's definitely first pickable in draft because it's basically draw a card at the beginning of your upkeep and then take damage. So in draft it's a 9. In a commander deck, I don't know. You play higher CMC spells in a commander deck. Probably give it a 6. What do you think?
Yeah, it's not one I would play probably, so I'd probably go with like 4.
A 4 for Dark Confidant? I don't agree with that one. It's a little better than that. Got Wormhole.
I wouldn't play it, so.
Here are our lands.
Oh, those are nice.
They are really pretty for our lands. Here's some more reprints. Yeah, they got it in a weird order.
Look at that version of Exploration.
Hmm?
Expedition map, that's cool. Right?
Oh, this is the art different?
Yeah,
It is.
that's really nice. I like
That is-
the like bluey green background.
Well, that's foil.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's pretty cool. Reclamation Stage. We all know what it does. It enters the battlefield, destroy an artifact or enchantment. We don't have to rate that one. I'm only rating rares and mythics today. The only reason I rated Expedition Map is because it's a rare here. Thought Reflection. Love this card. It's Teferi's Tutelage. It's Teferi's Tutelage, but more expensive. Before Teferi's Tutelage existed, this was the card you played to combo off to draw that additional card. You know, it was pretty nice. 4, 3 blue, you put it in a mono blue deck, it's pretty good. First pickable in draft, definitely not. But in commander, if you don't have its Teferi's Tutelage. And it's also non-legendary, so like
It doesn't
Destructive,
know like
sure.
Tutelage does either.
No, I'm talking. Oh, I'm thinking Teferi's Aegis Insight. That's what I'm thinking of. The 2/2 blue legendary artifact that lets you basically thought reflection for 3 mana less mana restrictive. Would I still play it? Yeah, I would love to have both copies in the deck that's devoted to doing that.
Of course you would.
But is this one definitely worse? Yes, it costs a little bit too much.
Yeah, that's a lot of mana. Draw an
So
extra card.
I would rate this. I've played with it. It was actually a win con in one of my Bant Tameo decks from way back in the day when I was first starting out Commander and I was tutoring for Tameo, getting Omniscience and casting this and drawing cards. This is my win con. I would draw into Laboratory Maniac, play Laboratory Maniac for the game. So this really helped accelerate that process. But was it really good to have stuck in my hand that whole game? No. So I would give it a solid 7. Now that the Teferi's Aegis Insight is out, I'd probably drop that down to a 6 or a 5, just because that's a strictly better card. In Commander, in Draft, it's a 3, you don't want to tell from this. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd give it like a 4 or 5 overall.
Alright. What's next? Boon Reflection. This is this is part of the reflection cycle, where they have things for each color that let you basically do double. If you would gain life, you gain twice that much life instead. Pretty busted with the right cards in a devoted life gain deck. Very good. First pickable, I could see because it's only 4 and a white. By the way, notice this one is a $9 card. The other one is a $2 card. It's an enchantment. Enchantments are hard to get rid of. In a life gain deck in draft, sure, if there's support for it, yeah. And in Commander, also, yeah. So I give it a 7 all around.
Yeah, I could see some good decks to put that in. So I'd probably give it a 7 or an 8.
Yep. Alright, Champion of Lambholt. That's the card you opened from Jumpstart, actually.
Oh, yeah.
So creatures with power less than Champion of Lambholt's power can't block creatures you control. Whenever another creature ETBs, put a +1/+1 counter on Champion of Lambholt. Cool. In a draft, if you have the... I would first pick this in a draft, only due to the fact that, sure, it's 3 mana, but it kind of solidifies you in green, but green does have a lot of creatures. It triggers whenever you have a creature, and then creatures with power less than her power can't block any of the creatures you control.
When you make her real big, then...
And then you just kill them. Yeah, it's pretty good. So solid, I would say probably a solid 6 for Commander, and a solid 8 for draft, so 7 overall. What do you think?
Probably about a 6 or 7 overall.
Yeah, we got one in the binder, so hopefully that one takes off. This is Grim Lavamancer. I know what Grim Lavamancer does. Pay 1 red, tap, exile 2 cards from your graveyard, it deals 2 damage to any target. So 1/1 for 1, with an activated ability for 1, that deals 2. Sure, I mean, first pickable in draft, yeah. I could see somebody taking this. Would I? No, I tend to stay away from red unless I'm doing something interesting with it. But it's a good card. It's modern, playable. You don't see it in Commander that much because 2 damage really isn't that much in Commander. So for Commander, probably a 5, but for draft, I'll probably give it a solid 7 or 8 because late game, this could get going.
6.
It shocks literally anything, so. Alright, we've got some more lands. I take it these are the unhinged lands.
Those are nice.
These are the lands that you get from the VIP packs. So that's cool. Oh my goodness.
Look at that art.
So these are the cards that were already on the site. This is Mana Crypt. 0 mana at the beginning of your upkeep. Flip a coin. If you lose the flip, it deals 3 damage to you. It's a Soul Ring for 0. Very expensive card. This is the alternate art. I'm sure this is coming in the VIP kit.
I like that art.
It's really pretty. It's interesting. Not necessarily pretty, but it's interesting. I like the little hieroglyphics. It's very detailed. First pickable in draft, hell yeah. Really good in Commander. Yeah, solid 10 overall. It's also a very expensive card. So if you have one, that's pretty good. This is the regular one, and I'll show you how much it costs right now. To buy the Modern Masters one is $100. So that is Mana Crypt. You lose the flip, it deals 3 damage, but if you give your artifacts lifelink, then it gains you 3 life. Kali of the Vast. These are the ones that were already here, as we looked at earlier. But so
That's nice.
this is the one in the VIP pack. Kali of the Vast. A lot of people have been complaining about the art. It looks granulated, but it's supposed to look granulated, guys.
Yeah,
it's
it's
an
a
older
style.
card. Yeah.
I like it.
So whenever Kali of the Vast attacks an opponent, you may put an angel, demon, or dragon creature from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking that opponent. It's flying 2/2 for 1 in Mardu. Commander, great Commander card in a dragons, demons, and angel tribal deck. It's really good. Which of course those are the corresponding colors. Demon is black, angels white, and dragons are red. So yeah, I mean, first pickable draft, probably not, unless there's some support for it. I'd probably give it a solid 4 for draft, but in Commander, it's like a 9. You build around this card in Commander, and you have the deck that it works with, and it can cheat huge things out for free. So that's nice. That's a nice one. So yeah, I'd probably give it a 7 overall. What do you think?
Yeah, 6 or 7. I like the art. I'd probably get a play mat with that art.
And of course, $30 card. It's a commander from a precon.
Same thing, isn't it?
Different art. Yeah, same creature.
I like the other art better.
So this, well, of course, these are the alternate arts. This is Atraxa, Praetor's Voice. Remember I mentioned Atraxa at the beginning of the video? It's all about counters, proliferating things. So a green, a white, a blue, a black, flying vigilance, death touch, lifelink at the beginning of your end step, proliferate. Yep, that exists. It's very good.
Nice.
You play Super Friends with this. You play charge counter cards with this. You have that proliferate to get as much value as it possibly can. So this is a first pick bull in draft. No, 2 mana intense. But so I give it a 2 there. But for commander, this is a top tier commander.
That'd be a good
So
commander card.
I'll give it a solid 9 for that. And this is the regular one. What do you think, by the way, about that?
I mean, I could definitely see it being useful in certain commander decks. So
I'm pretty sure Atraxa is a $30 card as well. She's from a Commander Precon. Here's our expensive card.
doubling season.
Doubling season. This is the alternate art. So,
Oh, it's cute.
4 and a green. If an effect would create 1 or more tokens under your control, it creates twice that many tokens. If an effect would put 1 or more counters on a permanent you control, it puts twice that many counters. Notice that doesn't say +1/+1 or anything, just counters in general and permanent in general. Planeswalkers enter with double loyalty.
I want that one. It's cute.
Well, yeah. But Planeswalkers enter with double loyalty. Charge counters get doubled. +1/+1 counters get doubled. Infect counters do not get doubled because players are not permanents. So basically, really, really good card, worth a ton of money, and also this art's really nice. It's very vibrant and pops.
It's
I like how they have 2. It looks like the kitty sleeves on Arena that I use.
It's like baby dragons.
I'm pretty sure it is baby dragons.
They're so cute.
All right, and on top of that, it's just a pretty busted card. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm keeping that one if I get it.
And then of course this is the regular one. It's got a Hydra on it, and it's $40 for the regular double season. I remember back when doubling season was really expensive. You traded a foil doubling season for like $90, $100, and that's trade-ins. It's like $180.
The alt art is a lot nicer, so it'll probably be worth a lot more.
And then you've got a box topper. Apparently, only one of these is a box topper. If you hover over it, it'll say. But it also says right here. Look, it's people wanting Concordant Crossroads and Worldly Tutor. No. Alright. So, Blightsteel Colossus. 12 mana, trample, infect, indestructible if it would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, reveal it, and shuffle it into its owner's library. So it has the Eldrazi Titan clause of shuffling back in if it's milled. It's also an infect finisher. If you can cheat it out into play, you normally win on the spot, or at least you kill somebody. First pick in draft, I mean, no, not to play, but I mean, you want this card. Commander in the right deck, oh yeah. Oh, this is a solid card. Older formats even can cheat this out. Like Vintage Cubes. I watched a lot of Gannon MTG, Caleb Gannon. He does a lot of Vintage Draft in Cubes, and this is in there. And it's an artifact deck payoff. If you like Magic content, go watch that stuff, man. He's funny. Anyways, so yeah. Solid 9 for sure, but not that good in draft. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's decent, but it is 12 mana, and that's hard to get into sometimes.
So its price was $100 when we looked yesterday, but it's gone down to $54.99 upon the spoilers being released. So these cards, I mean, yeah, they're going to be worth a lot. I'm excited to see what things stabilize to. Let's read some comments. Let's get this video up to a little.
To an hour.
Yeah, up to an hour. So, Concordant Crossroads and Worldly Tutor, cool. Are all 4 color commanders getting the box topper treatment? Interesting. Nasty Terasti. Huge flavor fail. Aw, that's not nice. It doesn't have to. They don't.
It says /s. That's sarcasm.
I know, but they don't all have to. They don't all have to do double stuff and double masters. Of course, you've got the one person who's complaining about how flashy things are, blah blah blah. He's still gonna get boxes, crack one, and sell the other in a few years to pay for both, right? Which is part of what I'm planning on doing. This is the single seller mindset. I crack one. If I have some cool cards that I like in there, I'll keep them. If I don't and they're worth a bit of money, I'll sell them. And then I'm gonna hold on to one sealed product to sell later because it'll be worth more. Because I'm hoping that Wizards doesn't print this a bunch. Let's see. Yeah, see, stop reinforcing their behavior if you don't like it. Basically,
Valid.
protest them with your wallet is what people are saying.
That's never gonna happen though. There's always gonna be people that'll buy it anyway.
Even this person's just like, you are right. See, this There we go. Seriously, how's someone gonna come in and trash them for their practices, but in the same breath admit they'll be supporting those practices with a ton of their money? Which, mind you, 2 boxes is about $650 after tax.
Yeah, you can buy a whole car with that.
Why is Karn skipping in the alt art? What? You can put the Tron lands together and it makes a mural? That's... Wait.
The ones that we looked at.
Hold on. And there's no way. This connects to that.
Yeah.
Ha! That's cool! I like that. That's pretty cool.
I hope there's like a poster that you could buy. That'd be cool too.
Come on and show us the Colossal Dreadmon Evolving Wilds Mythic box toppers and the $100 VIP
God.
packs. No, because in the collector's edition and stuff, you got like the Windscarred Crag red-white tapland foiled, you know? And that was the foil slot in your collector's pack, which is utter bullcrap.
Yeah.
That's funny. I like that. So Flux Cannon isn't a premium product. Does that make it a deluxe cannon? Oh my god.
Oh man.
Opponent immediately.
He's like, yeah, I need help.
Yeah. Baleful Strix did move from uncommon to rare.
Shout out to Mark Tedden. That's cool art he's got going on.
People don't realize that this is spoilers, and they're probably gonna put the other ones. I feel like they're gonna do the complete cycle. They literally reprint the same bullshit, and this is the 3rd time Karn Engineered Explosives is in a masterpiece set. It's so stupid. Better than Tree of Redemption. Yep. The Tree of Redemption just had somebody's life total 13.
Oh.
Whoops.
Nice. But Karn is good stuff.
Karn was getting really expensive. EE. These are some good reprint ideas. Imperial Seal, Vampiric Tutor, like the old school. Oh, Engineered Explosives EE. Yeah, I like that. Mana Crypt is still gonna be worth a lot. Oh yeah, prices are gonna skyrocket.
Yeah, we should have got it when it was around 250.
That's what we tried to do, but it'll be okay.
Yeah.
It's still spoiler season. There's still time to pre-order. So yeah. Wormcoil, Tron lands, Mythics are looking good. Yep. Alright, well, anyways, that concludes our video. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. Let's take one last look at all these cards. So pretty, man. Some of this land and the art is just really nice.
Mark Tedden worked hard on that art.
He did. So we'll scroll up. These lands here by Noah Bradley are probably going to be the ones that are cut. If you guys haven't heard about that scandal, go watch Desolator Magic's video on that.
They said that his stuff will, like stuff he's already made, will still continue to be printed, like in this situation, but there's not going to be any new things.
Right. Well, if you guys have not seen Desolator Magic's video on that or don't know the full thing about the scandal, go ahead and look up Noah Bradley MTG and then go look at his channel, and he's got a video talking about it. Anyways, card review done. These are the spoilers. I hope everybody enjoyed this content that I've created. Jace the Mind Sculpture getting reprinted is phenomenal. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know about anything you are excited to see in the upcoming spoilers that are coming out for the rest of the time before the box is actually released, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Of course, any spoilers do come out, I am going to record for them. Probably going to be shorter videos than this one. This one just had a bunch of spoilers out. Of course, if you want to pre-order stuff, go to Card Kingdom to get it. Card Kingdom, not a sponsor, but they ship pretty well, and I've had good business practices with them. Buy booster box is $309.99. VIP edition box is both of those. The edition booster by itself is $100. One booster pack of this set is $15, and the VIP edition box by itself is $400. So $700 total, about $720 for both products. Anyways, like I said, if you guys enjoyed it, subscribe for the next spoiler updates, and I will catch you guys later. Bye-bye.